Trading takes time. It's a journey. It takes up to 30 days to understand the basics, up to 6 months to understand, learn and test the concepts, and sometimes it takes more than 2 years to really understand yourself, the psychology behind trading, and how to manage your emotions. Hey there, Tamir from FIBONACCI'S.com here with the daily market recap. Please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, and without any further ado, let's see the charts. Microsoft earnings came out. The market reaction for those earnings were 10% to the upside, all the way towards this red trend line, the 298. Now let's see where price will take us tomorrow. Can bulls of Microsoft break up and above this red trend line? And then with high probability, next resistance will be the 306, 316, and maybe all the way to 325. Follow price, use levels and trend lines to manage our risk. Google earnings came out. At some point, Google went down 3%, then went up 5%, but overall, after hours, not much of a change. Closed above the 105, very important level of support together with this trend line over here. Google have this gap to the upside that is still open. So tomorrow will be another very interesting day. Let's see how the market will react. Today we had on the SPY a very bearish trend day. 405 held. It needs to hold because otherwise this gap to the downside, 80% chance or more, it will get filled. Let's see if Microsoft and Google can push price back up towards this red trend line. This red trend line is a very tough resistance, as we can see since August of 2022. Very tough resistance. All we have to do is follow price, use levels and trend lines to manage risk, because risk management is the only thing we have full control of. QQQ broke below the 313. If you follow me on Twitter and you saw previous videos in the past few weeks or so, we said that 313 is a very important level of support. Now it broke to the downside, and as we can see, this gap is like a magnet to price. Like all gaps, gaps are meant to get filled. If you see a gap, take in mind that it will get filled more than 80% chance, and this gap will get filled. It's a matter of by the end of the week, in my opinion, maybe closing this gap and bouncing back up. IWM for now looks like bulls gave up on the 180 area. 180, very tough resistance. Bulls gave up. Bears came in full control, pushed price all the way to the 173. Why 173? Draw a line, look left. 173, very important level of support over here. Support also over here. Resistance. So 173 is a very important level of support. Bulls needs to defend. Otherwise, 170, 167, and maybe all the way back to the 163. Following price, use levels and trend lines to manage risk. Dow Jones, another perfect example of why trend lines are the true support resistance for price action. Because as we can see, this trend line goes all the way back to January of 2022. Each and every time bulls tried to break up and above, they got rejected. And also here in the past 2 weeks or so, we can clearly see bulls are tried. Now, because they failed, they gave up. 335 for now needs to hold. All this area of the 334, 335 needs to hold. Otherwise, next area of support will be the 333 and the 331. Bitcoin, another perfect example of why all we need to do is truly understand the relationship between price action, aka candlestick analysis, and trend lines. If you follow me on Twitter and you saw previous videos on this channel, you know these trend lines. We have drawn these trend lines few weeks back and they're still holding, which means trend lines are the true support resistance for price action, and trend lines are the roadmap for the future for price. No other indicator can give you what trend lines can give us. So learn the relationship between trend lines and price action. This trend line from resistance, now support over here, and once again support during the past 5 or 6 days. Now let's see if Bitcoin can bounce back up towards this trend line that will act as resistance, because it was resistance over here. All we need to do, trend lines, price action, and that's it. Then we can really understand how to trade anything that we want, whether it's crypto, forex, Qs, SPY, stocks, on any time frame. It works on any time frame. Day trade, swing trading, long time holding, doesn't matter. Ethereum, uptrend, retracement towards the 1800. 1800 needs to hold. It was a very tough resistance over here. Now needs to act as support. Otherwise, we just follow Fibonacci levels to the downside for future support. SMH, after long time, since middle of March, more than 1 month, this area of the 245, 248 held as support. Bulls gave up, bears came, full control. Now 235 to the downside, and maybe all the way to this trend line from resistance to support. So let's see if this trend line can hold. If this trend line will fail to hold together with the 228, then we look down and look for the next level of support. Meta earnings coming up tomorrow, Wednesday, after the bell. Let's see how market will react to the earnings. This is all we care about, how market will react to the earnings report. It doesn't matter what we think about the report. It doesn't matter if we think it's good or bad. All it matters is the reaction of the market to the numbers of the report. Meta for now is in retracement. Let's see continuation down towards closing this gap, and maybe closing this gap also, because we know more than 80% of all gaps will get filled. And Meta, after this crazy bull run from 88 towards 222, some kind of a retracement is healthy. Nothing goes up endlessly. Let's see where Meta is taking us tomorrow. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? This gap will get filled, maybe this gap will get filled, maybe this gap will get filled, or market is going to surprise us with the reaction and we are going towards the 222, or maybe even going towards this big void over here towards the 316. Let me know in the comments below, up or down, big gap to the downside or big gap to the upside. Amazon, Thursday's earnings coming up after the bell. Amazon for now holding inside this uptrend channel. This red trend line needs to hold. Otherwise, we can take Fibonacci, of course, swing low, swing high. 100 together with this red trend line needs to hold. Otherwise, 98, 95, and all the way down, we need to look and see where is the next area of support. Apple, 9 days till Apple's earnings. Apple broke below this trend line. Now 162 needs to hold. Otherwise, you guessed it, we look down. Where is the next level of support? 158. Apple have this gap over here. Now, let's see if Apple is going to reclaim this gap, fill this gap, and then, if you're not long yet on Apple, not suggesting anything, but in my opinion, we need to wait and see where Apple is taking us. If this gap will get filled, I would wait for a bounce back to the upside of the 158. Tesla, 4 consecutive days of a dojis. We have a gap to the upside, gap to the downside. This is the reason for these dojis, because gaps are like magnets to price action. Bulls wants to take price and fill this gap over here. Bears wants to take price and fill this gap over here. So we have a doji, which means the battle between bears and bulls, between buyers and sellers, is in full power. Indecision in the market for Tesla, but overall downtrend until proven otherwise. Netflix bouncing between the 320 and the 327. Let's see where Netflix is taking us. Long continuation above the 336. This red trend line needs to hold to the downside, otherwise breaking below this red trend line, below the 313, we can start thinking about shorting Netflix. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, will be much appreciated. Don't forget to check the links in the description below for more educational resources. Until the next video, do good things.